It's not on yet just now? Okay. Good morning everyone, good morning gamers. The ruins of civilization. I actually read book about city and it is possible. I don't think it's in our lifetime. I don't think it's in Elon Musk's lifetime, but I'm not sure he want to listen to that. But this should be fun. There's also the Cup, which is kind of a sequel to this game, weirdly. We can maybe review. Is it fun review? Because I don't actually know what kind of game this is. I just know that there's an interesting. It is a game in the same story and time, split into two, which is, I think is an interesting concept.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Hello all you Martians out there. It's your Terran fixed foot soul with a bit of that old world flavour. You're tuned to Radio Nostalgia from Mars. Breathe easy, kick back, and reminisce.
Take my hand, explain to me
But I mean,
this project called humanity. Don't let go while wonders arise. There will be no surprise. All I know is that we shouldn't be.
sorry about that, guy. I don't actually do good.
Take my hand. Don't let go. I know we won't get lost.
At least we're not keeping track of score.
Oh
Not
no.
activity usually group, right?
Take my hand. Don't let go. The signs are fake and the maps are false, but we must go on. Whisper directions through our keys as we drift through this metropolis. Take your earphones off and listen to me, and I'll guide you
It
through.
was the play from behind the fence.
People talk, but they've nothing to say.
Be wary of water and other hazard.
Know the way. Take my hand. Don't let go. I know we won't get lost.
So many lonely people between yourself.
Way. Take my hand. Don't let go. The signs are fake and the maps are false, but we must go on.
So I can insect with jetpack. pipe dream. Sorry, no, thank you. Yeah, I should stop my channel for 1% espresso. There's someone who on that fence and starting to see him. No, please stop finding that. Nail that. That sucks.
Is that we shouldn't be sad when we think of the road ahead.
Excellent. I'm gonna do that. Because stay spot me and try to hunt it. Fabulous. And the golf course, the cooperation with the Via Roma and a couple of golfers disappeared. Better stay safe. I break my neck on shipping containers with Mutant
And
Seagulls
Chuchen would
soundtrack.
take my hand, her sublime take on our wonderful project called Humanity. Beautiful. Plenty more to come into Soul Show, a show packed with stories and music to remind ourselves of where we are and how far we've come. Our first caller for the show calls it like it is and was a hard-hitting look back at the last days on Earth from the perspective of a shrewd businessman and loving father. Stories, memories, the good old days, original sources, authentic tales, hope, inspiration, drama.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
I worked in oil, brokering gasoline to be exact. It's a strange business, probably not like you would actually imagine it to be. My day started something like this. I check Reuters and my sheets, see if there's been a change in the fundamentals, see if the spread's up or down. And then when the clock strikes go, I'm on the phone. I could be calling some commercial shop in Bumble, Kansas, where little old Sue loves to know how my daughter's doing. Or I could be trying to get into the head of a powerful Russian who knows the world wants his phone number. That's when the psychology kicks in, and I go to work. If they pick up the phone, they're mine.
You can walk.
I started when I was 29, 30. My boss was a coked-up, perma-tanned moron who was wasted by lunch. More money than sense. Screaming at waiters because, you don't drink gin out of a glass like that. And Caesar salad is supposed to have 8 pieces. 8 pieces of chicken, you stunted fool. Stunted fool was his favorite insult. This coming from a guy who was 5 foot nothing. That was pretty much my life, 24/7. I traveled a lot, meeting clients all over the world. The Amazon, the Gulf, Siberia, Central Asia, the States, Singapore, everywhere. Looking back, I can't claim that I ever would recommend that life, nor can I claim that I was ever really happy doing it. But it was fun. I mean, talk about your share of moments. There was this one, some strange mix of Algiers and Paris, with some sprinkle of Havana. A dancer, naturally. So pretty. She'd turn a priest's head or give a nun a... Sometimes I wonder what happened to her. But we all had the same feeling. This can't last. And sure enough, we were right.
Can actually just hit the ball up.
First, you couldn't drink the water. Then you couldn't eat the crops. And pretty soon, we wouldn't be able to breathe the air.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I remember looking at Emmy and wondering what kind of a future would she have. So I decided to do something about it.
Oh.
The Mars project was Plan B for planet Earth, which was most evidently... The family and I had already put down roots in Tesla City by the time the great catastrophe
Play
really
along.
hit. The corporation knew my contacts in the world of drilling and refining would be useful, so I adapted
In
my
the background.
skills to something more practical. Now we're all that keeps this little planet running.
Baseball.
Mining those Martian chemicals for the battery banks. Martian cement for the building.
That's the second game actually.
My pure little
At least
Emma
that's
has a
what I
future.
heard.
When somebody sits down and writes this all up for the history books, it might just be men like me they'll be hailing as heroes. It's men like me who saved humanity. Men like me who took us further than we ever dreamt possible.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
The obsession from
Reminds
a
us that all
businessman.
kinds made it up here
Okay.
to Mars, but we're all
One
in it
book
together now
Itaka, visionary mind, Constantine
and remain creatures
Itaka.
of the world. You're tightly into Radio Nostalgia from Mars, music for the lost days of Earth.
Every morning I like to look at the sky. I whisper a word or two, and it glows right back at you. The smell
With that,
of cake and the bread, the news is sad, the children laugh. You were in me, now out of bed, ready for the big bad world. Hello, creatures of the world.
at the party, I followed him. Seriously, what the fuck?
Creatures of the world.
I'm gonna play here, let me go back to head record dance of Chelsea and Blackback. Nice history. You're always responsible.
Every morning I wish that we had a sky. I whisper a prayer or two, but they bounce right back off you. The smell of eggs and hot concrete, the papers twist, the children sing.
An egg? Is that an egg game? What the fuck?
A white sheet, the city wolves show their sharp steel teeth. Hello, creatures of the world. Hello, creatures of the world. Creatures of the world.
What do you think?
Every morning I reach up
Okay.
to what was the sky.
Oh,
I whisper a poem or two, but they seem quite lost on you. The smell of sweat
oh, this is rubber.
blood
Okay.
from stone. The news is lost. The children
That's frustrating.
enter the rat race, step out of home, embrace our new code.
Hold on, Roman. Rubber, really? I messed up.
Creatures of the world. Hello, creatures of the world. Hello,
Yuri.
Your home away from home. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Creatures of the
But
world.
this is good.
Now that attractor takes us back. Stefan Milenkovic, pining for blue skies, house musing on the games we play. Just a reminder that until further notice, there is a moratorium on all team leaders playing card and board games with their teams, following an incident over a game of Monopoly in Section C. All senior section team leaders will convene for emergency counseling and anger management courses. Until then, there'll be no intersectional board game tournaments and no games with groups larger than 4 people at a time per team. In the interim, teams are encouraged to take advantage of the half-ration special on OMAS, the delicious and relaxing drink that takes the edge off.
Compared to Mars, how my dead friends are here. Memories from the normal survivors
Our next
than here.
caller, Yamil,
I'm so important they
takes us
should like a
into
hero
world
to Mars
of
colony go
food,
back home and die
smells,
peacefully.
sensuality, blue skies, and sings us a personal song to remember.
Histoire, mémoire, le bon vieux temps, source originale, fable authentique, espoir, inspiration, drame, musique, radio nostalgie de Mars.
I have nightmares. I'm happy to be alive, but I knew many who deserved to live more than I did. But this is a radio program about nostalgia, not guilt. I've been nostalgic since I was 20, when I left Havana. In Europe, I felt different. Each country has a smell. Mars doesn't. Where I come from, the smell of the ocean, mango, bananas, coconut, mama's food, ropa vieja, de la abuelita, el con gris,
It's an
la
epidemic,
yuca
right?
con mojito, the most beautiful sun of Malecon, the smell of my street when the rain falls, all of that make me into the person I am. So when I left, I grew stronger. I experienced the
Why do they
world,
look fake?
but forever stayed incomplete. So now I'm double nostalgic. We were full of life, laughing on warm nights under blue sky,
Do that?
touching each other. The air filled with the smell of sweat from dancing with Orquesta Aragon playing from an apartment. Now, the only way I can feel this scent is by singing.
And to do that? But here we are.
¿Cómo fue? No sé decirte cómo fue. No sé explicarme qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré.
Without food and water made us hipster peeps.
Fue una luz
Good one.
que iluminó todo mi ser.
As a kid, I thought the building was an ugly piece of brutalist modernism named after a communist company. Later, they named after some post-communist title. Oh, I love it. Amazing board. Name the new capital Tesla City. Not sure Nikola Tesla will have proved even his history with despicable businessmen. Yeah, that's true. Tesla is perhaps one of the most unfortunate inventor in the world. At least from the man, the woman had it much more rougher. And I'm having it much more rougher than them right now.
No sé decirte cómo fue, no sé explicarme qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré.
Slušajte Radio Nostalgiju sa Marsa.
Thank you, Yamil. What a wonderful story. Reminds us that life is about so much more than just base
That's the
survival.
boy. There's someone there.
Well, living in space has always been challenging, and here's a song that pokes a little fun at living in cramped quarters. Needs no introduction,
argue all you want. It's a classic. Take a moment, relax, and remember with Radio Nostalgia from Mars.
A Russian and an American work together in
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
very different sight from the Cold War arms race, whether Kubrick or Tarkovsky, Solaris or 2001, Melville or Dostoevsky, Yesenin or Jack London, two astronauts
Tribute
argued about art.
Pino Care
That is an
Albino
international
Giraffe.
relations.
Albino Giraffe, yeah.
Astronauts
Privilege view escape to Mars.
argue.
What the hell?
Америка убила иракцев, убила Че, Аленда и Ламунду. Она убила корейцев и вьетнамцев, распространяя демократию. Don't get me started on Stalin and your talent to suffer under czars, my friend. Your history is long. You also inflicted scars. Two astronauts argued about art. That is an international relations. Two astronauts argued. They speak in two tongues,
There's fire there.
but still 4 hours
Play
they
this safe.
talk.
By going full
Same
force.
oxygen in their lungs, the same thrill on their spacewalk.
Giraffe. Let's take giraffe. Why not?
Я
Going into the water.
скучаю кофе в Москве. Сказал российский космонавт. I miss my dog in the sunrise. Said the American astronaut. Я скучаю по жене и домой. Сказал российский космонавт. Also miss my wife and Charlie the astronaut. Two astronauts argue about art.
Let me
That
giraffe.
is an international relations. Two astronauts argue. Как светит солнце, свет Бога, как прекрасна голубая земля. Говорится гей из Роскосмоса. Indeed, search my friend with hope on a night,
That is too
on a
hard.
mission.
Nothing too hard for this ball. This damn ball. This goddamn ball. What the fuck? Take it slow. Just kidding.
Two astronauts argue about art.
I forget. WC mendaki foto nama final baby.
Two astronauts argue. Two astronauts argue about art. That is an international relations. Two astronauts argue.
Okay.
Muzika iz starih dobrih dana. Radio Nostalgija sa Marsa.
Anna Churchill and arguably the first interplanetary hit, Two Astronauts, an anthem to the Great Evacuation, and certainly one of our most popular requests. Speaking of requests, please follow Habitat protocols for sanitation. No liquids other than bodily in the main bin, including pee. Some of you don't like it, but all water is recycled, so pee into the funnel installed next to your toilet, please. Speaking of pee and poop, We recently welcomed our first official little Martian to the colony, and our next caller, Sophia, tells us what it's like to be a new mother on Mars.
I'm so happy we moved to Mars. It was a project I funded from the very beginning. I knew it had potential and I trusted the amazing team working on it. As angel investors, my husband and I got early placements in the Ark ship. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to further human survival in our solar system. Speaking of the human project, I have some exciting news. Just a week ago, we welcomed our baby boy into the world. Words cannot express how overjoyed we are at welcoming little Maxim. Putting him to bed reminds me of my parents. From our window here in Tesla City, we can see the Earth, tiny enough to fit in Maxim's hand. It pains me that my child might never experience the beauty of my home in the Hamptons.
I'm going to stay here for as long as we can.
Coastline, the old lighthouse, and the food, the houses of our friends, our evening parties, full of life compared to this barren, rugged terrain. I send my little Martian to sleep with a lullaby my mother sang for me. Thanks to these songs, I'm able to retain, at least on a rudimentary level, my mother tongue. She sang like this. Shushti, shushti, bambu solis, pored moka prozora, noce tiho spušta na grad, sa nebeskih
Doing, come on. The first step should be the easiest one.
Noce tiho spušta na grad, sa nebeskih svodova.
We just ourselves from Mars. Not really.
Thank you, Sophia, for that uplifting news and beautiful song. Life always finds a way. Just as precious as a new life is the water that sustains it. You may have noticed that it doesn't rain here on Mars, so another friendly reminder that showers are strictly limited to 30 seconds each, with no exceptions. Corporate is looking into extending this time frame, but is meeting resistance from Section BC, who want lab rat urine to be excluded from the water recycling program, which would actually reduce allocated shower times to 27 seconds. Want to say in this? Join our sectional weekly meetings and vote while sipping on a relaxing tube of OMAS. Feels good, as it should.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
I just really want to. I just want to put in the title like that. He died soon after the great catastrophe. Oh, there's a boy there. Looking boy.
Speed on the Autobahn, like spaceship boats around the sun. A diver's breath in the deep blue sea. Bubbles like your thoughts.
That's the first one. That's the first one. Okay? That's the first
Pick
one.
up sex on a summer's day, like an airplane on a runaway. Melts like ice cream in the sun, and doesn't fool anyone. Like a desperate man taking his chance, quick as a kiss at your first dance. Keep your eyes open and don't you blink, you'll miss the boat before it sinks. Sunlight passes quickly, life bursts like a bomb, like a child in the morning of the sun.
Into the hood. Into the hood.
Close and
In the
don't miss your breath.
box.
The time will come when nothing is left, 'cause time passes quickly, it flies by.
Oh, it's so close. It's about this. And so far, precisely the same shot I took before, but I'm not that good at memorizing this kind of thing.
High speed on the autobahn, like spaceship birds around the sun. Like a
Just-
tiger's breath in a deep blue sea.
The starting going up is
Passes like your thoughts
taking too long.
Makeup six on summer's day. Like an airplane on a runway. Melts like ice cream in the sun. Doesn't fool anyone. Like a desperate man taking his chance. Quick as the kiss at your first ask. Keep your eyes open and don't you blink. You'll miss the boat before it sinks. Slide passes quickly like bursts like a bomb. Like a child in the morning it will soon come. So hold it close and don't waste your breath. The time will
The
come
sender
when
what?
nothing is
Fuck
left.
off.
'Cause life passes quickly. It flies by.
You're home away from home. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Life passes quickly indeed. Another blast from the past, reminding us to savor each moment as it flies by. Speaking of savoring things, the Health and Wellbeing Department would like us to remind you that the popping and fizzing noise your dried fruit makes when you're adding water is perfectly normal and does not mean it has gone off or is contaminated. The Health and Wellbeing Department would also like to take this moment to
Fun.
remind you to take your bone density pills twice a week now, as it was discovered the original dose is off by a factor of 2.
How do you?
Right,
Oh,
on with the
oh.
show. Music and dancing have always been a mainstay of stress relief and letting go. Our next caller, Merva, recalls her teenage clubbing days with vivid memories of awkward first kisses and a life-altering club experience invoking
Spark up.
a philosophical epiphany.
Stories, memories, the good old days, original sources, authentic tales, hope, inspiration, drama, radio nostalgia from Mars.
So, when I was a kid in Vienna, in high school, we used to learn all the German poets, like Best Friends, Goethe and Schiller. But the first poet that actually spoke to me was Heinrich Heine. I knew a couple of Heine's poems by heart that are now buried somewhere deep in my mind. But one passage about burning books stuck with me. Yes, even till today. So, just to fast forward to college, just a couple of years before the Great Catastrophe, I was walking around Berlin with a group of friends coming from a house party. Phew, I still remember that apartment smelling of potatoes. Yes, because we always made pommes and drank schnapps before heading out.
A little bit.
And
I can't go too
after
far,
that, I
or
remember
that'll
passing by
happen,
Alexanderplatz
and then that'll
on that
happen.
very, very hot night. And next to me was a guy I liked. We kissed before, but I can't say I really remember that. Probably from all the drinking, or maybe he was just a bad kisser. But I can still feel this sticky, sweaty, and very ambivalent feeling of us holding hands. Yeah, anyways, we popped some pills and entered our techno church that, well, now when I think back, I visited more often than my college. And I remember the beat in my chest and all these young bodies moving in this industrial space. I used to love dancing and counting beats in techno songs, but one song was very strange. It just went repetition, 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 and then this female vocal would creep out of nowhere. And then suddenly I felt very dizzy, so I sat on the ground and held my knees closely to my chest. It was some sort of like protective instinct. I was like an animal. And
Okay.
I felt cold
We passed
sweat
through the
dripping down
building.
my neck. Ugh. And I'm sure my guy thought I was completely crazy. And then out of nowhere, the Heine lines clearly came to me. I sat there motionless, surrounded by the ugly, hypnotic, delirious atmosphere. And no effort to recall Heine's lines. They were just there, planted in my head. Wilde, düstere Zeiten dröhnen heran und der Prophet, der eine neue Apokalypse schreiben wollte, musste ganz neue Bestien erfinden. Und zwar so erschreckliche, dass die älteren johannischen Tiersymbole dagegen nur sanfte Täubchen und Amoretten wären. Die Götter verhüllen ihr Antlitz aus Mitleid mit den Menschenkindern, ihren langjährigen Pfleglingen und vielleicht zugleich auch aus Besorgnis über das eigene Schicksal. And yeah, 2 years later, I ended up here, on Mars.
Okay.
That does bring back memories of university days and sweaty club nights. Earthly hedonism at its finest. For the record, corporate does not endorse or advocate the use of psychedelic drugs and reminds you, dear listeners, that Class A drugs are just as illegal here on Mars as they were on Earth. Okay, disclaimer out of the way, we actually have a surprise for Mirva. We tracked down that weird song in her head and dug it out of the archives for all to hear. Grab a tube of
With a pack
OMAS
of dogs
and enjoy the
feeding on
ride
cat,
while
rat,
sipping
and
on pure calm.
The deepest tunes, the warmest memories. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Repetition, 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 repetition,
Time to play, come on. Tickler.
repetition, 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 repetition,
Example. Just follow the line that is shown in the curve. This is what I wanted. This go. Yeah. Yes. What the fuck?
Disruption. Procrastinate, hibernate, isolate, masturbate, duplicate, fabricate, formulate, negotiate, calculate, allocate, accumulate, assimilate, eliminate, mediate, dictate, subjugate, interrogate, procrastinate, hibernate, isolate,
What the hell? Oh. Very psychedelic sound. Did not get that. Again, did not get that. I got in. So close. What do you mean skip available? I'm finishing the game like this. Finishing the game right after here. Me in a human face for years. I know I am getting those diaries. Maybe someone who's better at golf can do that, but not me. I don't play golf. I mean, at least better at golf game.
You're listening to Radio Nostalgia from Mars.
Well, what can I say? No wonder that song got into her head. But with a little help from some friends, she pulled through. Another thing that can get into your head is living conditions here on Mars. Life up here on Mars can get a bit overwhelming at times, so along with a soothing OMAS drink, no stress, no fuss, it bears mentioning that wellness counseling is mandatory for all team members, regardless of rank or tenure. The wellness sessions are completely confidential and anonymous, but do remember that all conversations are monitored and recorded for security reasons, and you must have your ID badge and sectional access pass visible at all times. Okay, time for another story. Our last caller for Tussol's show is Francesco, who tells a haunting tale of his last days on
Down there
Earth
and
as
up
the
there.
great
That's not how
catastrophe
Hangman
kicked
played.
into high gear.
Stories, memories, the good old days, original sources, authentic tales, hope, inspiration, drama, radio nostalgia from Mars.
It was an extremely humid summer. My parents would not let me out because of the floods in Italy. My father went outside. He was working in the greenhouse on the vineyard, and my mother was a doctor. She read Italian fairy tales to me. I was very small, but I remember many days when our neighbors would gather at our house and make plans. It rained heavily at night. They would only say to me, "Powerful people want to take my great-great-grandfather's land." But one image stuck in my memory. It was daybreak. I woke up and I could faintly hear in the dark, "Oh, Gorizia, tu sei maledetta." Only later I understood the history behind this song. Outside I saw
hitting an orange ball.
my father
But
and
also
mother,
now, well.
rifles in their hands. My father was crying and singing. I was at the door of the house. My mother turned, smiled at me, but it was a mysterious, confident smile.
In her white shirt, sipping on morning coffee, I took her from behind. La Boheme played from the left. Klezmer and Klezmer were in the air. The Alexander Blast Tower still standing.
Raccomando ai compagni vicini di tenermi da conto i bambini, che io muoio col suo nome nel cuore. Of course, I had no idea where they were buried. Traditori, signori ufficiali, che la guerra l'avete voluta, scannatori di carne venduta e rovina della gioventù.
Squirrel, get me here.
12 years
please.
later,
I don't want to be here.
Mars mission. In a way, the people who killed my parents found me in Italy and recruited me. Saved me, you can say. It is ironic now. My parents fought for freedom. I cannannot say I'm free here.
You have been
Mars.
destroyed along with Earth. If this is what
My semen this
we have to
morning
do
for the
to spend the time
population program.
to have fun.
Here, on Mars, often in the middle
Can
of
suck
the
him.
night, I hear my parents saying,
It deserve to die.
"O Gorizia, tu sei maledetta per ogni cuore che sente coscienza. Dolorosa ci fu la partenza e il ritorno per molti non fu. O Gorizia, tu sei maledetta per ogni cuore che sente
Please,
coscienza.
not that far. Come on, not that
Dolorosa ci fu
far.
la partenza e il ritorno per molti non fu.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
The fuck? Okay. I got it up there. Can we even go there? I don't think so. down there, but it's not as difficult as going there. That's right. Yep. I need to go straight. Don't go up, don't go up. We run at an angle like this. Please get it on the building. Okay, let's just skip. Fuck this level. Fuck this game. Fuck the developer. Fuck it. Fuck. Talking and hunting. Yeah. That it does sound more fun than whatever this is we're doing. Is this your
The deepest tunes, the warmest memories. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show. It's been a real journey. Music, stories, and memories. Radio Nostalgia from Mars has it all. If you want to be involved with RNFM, have a story to tell, a memory to share, contact us via the usual internet channels and leave a short message outlining your contribution. Once your story idea is vetted and greenlit by corporate, we'll track you down to organize a time to record you. Please note that not all stories are accepted and we are not permitted to give out criteria, so stories and ideas are submitted at your own risk. A big thank you to our show sponsor, OMAS, the no stress, no fuss drink for the ultra elite. And a big thank you to corporate for allocating us this precious time and their resources on this tight beam to you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been a pleasure to take your hand. We're playing out Crowded in My Mind, a song that always reminds us that no matter how cramped and stuffy we feel, in the end, there is always a breath of fresh air in memories of blue skies.
Muzika iz starih dobrih dana. Radio Nostalgija sa Marsa.
There are other ways to have fun without having to do this, even with no technology at all. You don't have to play. You don't have to play golf. Golf is like the least favorite, the least fun thing you can do. Available. This guy. Itu mas. And they turn on the neon sign around the field. Falcon back there. This, by the way, much less inhabitable than this. This is still habitable compared to Mars.
Crowds in New York, crowds in Berlin, crowds in Tokyo, Paris, London, Shanghai, Belgrade, Rio, Bombay, Mexico City, Moscow. Crowded on the screens, crowds on the phones, crowds at the papers, crowded sounds at the wind. It's crowded in our minds, so crowded.
This class. Yeah. Here.
Crowds on the phones, crowds in the papers, crowded sounds at the wind. It's crowded in our minds, so crowded in our
You're home away from home.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Different.
Now, as much as we appreciate our regular callers, there is one person we would really love to hear from. A man many of us owe our lives to. Our national hero, the Mars mission pilot who brought us here safely so many years ago. Believe it or not, he finally made it back to Earth. After all these years, his dream finally came true. As we all know, he's had a very difficult time adapting to life here on Mars. We all have, just not in the public eye like him. So Charlie, this is Radio Nostalgia from Mars, personally reaching out to you. Charlie, we'd really appreciate it if you took some time to share a bit of the atmosphere from Earth with us. I'm sure many of our listeners are eager to hear your thoughts on being back. Just speak into the mic in your helmet. A few recorded words. Anything.
Well, it's worth a shot. I know he's the biggest fan of Radio Nostalgia from Mars, and he's probably listening now from a rooftop somewhere in Alphaville. So stay tuned to see if he responds. But to be honest, I don't think we'll be hearing from him anytime soon, sadly. Oh well, who can blame him? Let's not spoil his moment any longer. Continue our own trip down memory lane.
That's much shorter than I thought. Barely an hour. And well, I skipped that one stage. This time I was less afraid. I watched the cover from the bushes. I think story-wise, that was about it. This one, I don't know what is it. This one is just trying to get me angry.
Please stand by for next transmission. Please stand by for next transmission in 30 seconds. Please stand by for next transmission in 20 seconds. In 15 seconds. In 10 seconds. In 5 seconds. In 1 second.
Radio Nostalgia from Mars.
Yeah, to all you Martians out there, welcome to another edition of Radio Nostalgia from Mars. Plenty of great stuff coming your way.
Really roll off the tongue.
You know, a bit of that old Terran flavor. Some more stories from our beloved quarters. And news and views from around our base out here among the stars.
Try to lower the power, but there's no one.
Like I said, your tight beam to Radio Nostalgia from Mars. Breathe easy, kick back, and reminisce.
Actually, he but much upper. Just he hit much upper, but with less power. Maximum power. Let's visit. Still rolling. Won't go up there. Still won't go up there. Let's get this, let's. something.
Kicking off the show with the club classic Proto 2021, a long-lost Earth Day anthem recently discovered in the archives here on Mars. That should take most of us back to the days when Mars was nothing but an evening star in the sky, and large social gatherings were still normal and carefree. Speaking of carefree, look out for 3 new OMAS flavors, pink, green and yellow. Pure calm in a tube. Right, moving on. As always, we've collected some stories from our beloved callers, and up first is a young man who might just be the luckiest one of us all.
События, воспоминания, старые добрые времена, оригинальные источники, подлинные истории, надежда, вдохновение, драма, радионостальгия с Марса.
I nearly missed the boat to Mars. I mean, the rumours about something big happening in Alphaville had been floating for a few years, and of course it was impossible to separate fact from fiction. At that time, I barely made it through insurgent territory to this floating ghetto about an hour away from Alphaville by motorboat. I won't go into detail, but the crew I ran with bribed an outpost guard to go have a really long piss, while we used his comms to access their infranet. Their information turned out just as distorted as ours, but we found one channel that changed everything. Some bright spark in Alphaville had made color-coded spreadsheets of shipping data a monkey could understand. Imports into Alphaville were off the charts, while exports had zeroed out completely. I mean, nothing was coming out, even on the black market, which incidentally was fully accounted for, meaning it had to be sanctioned all along. So we knew something was up. Of course Alphaville media spun this situation heavily. The insurgents were blamed for everything, disrupting supply lines, stealing aid and so on. But it was really Alphaville stockpiling on a scale unseen in modern history. What tipped us off that they were planning to leave Earth is what they were stockpiling. Fuel, fuel, fuel. Specifically, dinitrogen tetroxide and hydrazine.
Actually crazy that they programmed that in.
Old school. But they're chemicals used as rocket fuel. They're easy to store, but they're highly toxic and require careful handling, which explained another gruesome discovery: the covert shipping and dumping of bodies. A lot of bodies. There were so many that some of those bodies had started washing up in our neighborhood. So toxic, even scavengers stayed away. Coincidentally, it suddenly became much easier to get a multi-day work pass into Alphaville.
So much more
We
rolling
were
here.
so hungry and focused on other resources, we didn't make the connection. We assumed the workers were skipping on the visa. In fact, I was planning to do the exact same thing. So actually, I lucked out. I'm a small guy, and Alphaville was so strapped for labour at that point that I was given an unscreened pass and ended up in heavy labour, moving enormous containers into storage with mechanical suits, but it didn't fit them. So I was just given a scanner instead and told to scan serial numbers all day. It was very hard to breathe, so I traded for a spare hazmat suit from a drunk guard and put it on. Not unusual at all to hang out all day in a hazy. Technically just walking outside required one those days. That's what saved me, twice. Whew. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but those containers were the rocket fuel, and in no way was it being stored and transported safely. All those guys died, withered to skin and bone. Nasty stuff. Again, it was all hidden in plain sight. Hell, we were all skin and bone at that point. We just assumed everyone was starving. I only got onto one of the last ships up to Mars because I was in a hazmat suit and holding that scanner, which I think had stopped working within the first days of my assignment. I never told anyone, and no one ever asked. I guess I was confused with security or something. All I remember is being yelled at, rushed into a shuttle, and then everyone patting me on the back and calling me Scully. The name embedded in the biometrics of the suit. I never saw my crew or the sky again.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Wow, what
He was
amazing
like the
luck
pilot
to be in the
that
right
because he
suit
didn't
at
save
the
his
right
memory.
time.
It's a button, right? But you can fly, just press it with your fly suit. What are you doing with your life?
Disruption. Procrastinate, hibernate, isolate, masturbate, duplicate, fabricate, formulate, negotiate, calculate, allocate, accumulate, assimilate, eliminate, enunciate, mediate, dictate, subjugate, interrogate, procrastinate, hibernate, isolate, masturbate, duplicate, fabricate, formulate, negotiate, calculate, allocate, accumulate, assimilate, eliminate, enunciate.
Okay, toilet.
Subjugate, interrogate, procrastinate, hibernate, isolate, masturbate, duplicate, fabricate, formulate, negotiate, calculate, allocate, accumulate, assimilate, eliminate, enunciate, mediate, dictate, subjugate, interrogate, procrastinate, hibernate, isolate, masturbate, duplicate, fabricate, formulate, negotiate, calculate, allocate, accumulate, assimilate,
Full of guilt and nostalgia.
Just goes to show, dressing appropriately for the job can really go a long way. Speaking of dressing appropriately, here's a
Child
Mars
left
fun
behind
fact.
while humanity left
Despite an
behind
average
a reality
temperature
for
of well
lion
below
accepted
minus 80
until one
degrees
day
centigrade,
drinking water
if you
got too
step outside
expensive.
without a suit
A
on,
straight
you
line
won't freeze
connects
to death or
Ayn
blood
right
will
to
boil.
Mars colony.
That's due to the low atmospheric pressure
Yeah,
outside.
and Rennis.
So please maintain your suits properly and follow
He used too
decontamination
much
protocols
plot
strictly at all
convenience
times when returning
in
from
her writing,
extrahabitat
and people
activities.
just ate it up.
No
There's
suit,
so much
no
plot
life, as
armor
we
that has
say.
to work for Ayn work
Radio
to
nostalgia
works.
from Mars.
But I guess the reading comprehension of me was
Right.
just not that high.
How about a 21st century love song remixed for the
Huxley was right.
22nd?
Atlas Huxley. He
Who's
took it.
watching who?
Principal characteristic of
Espionage or
text
true love?
is its refusal
guess
to
we'll
tolerate
never
moral
really be
judgment.
quite sure.
It is absolutely independent of them and eliminates them from its domain. The case below the technological society. Atlas Huxley, I think, is my favorite dystopian author. He wrote Brave New World, which I think is a much better dystopian book compared to 1984. But 1984 is more famous. I argue it is because 1984 operates on fear, and Brave New World operates on self-reflection. And fear can be easier solved compared to self-reflection, and that's why I think 1984 got more popular. At least that's my theory. We'll wait until this is yes, start to sleep on wine distilled from toilet water. Did it just make the Mario coin noise? That's so funny. Dang it. Taking like that. Not that bad. Not that good, but it hurts a lot. What there is it? Top bubbles, financial bubbles, partai sebab. I have years of diary entries here. A strange jumble of notes. You have about 1 hour left to go. Yeah, time. Hey. You see the boy? You not see the boy? Oh. They're trying to hit the roof, but yeah, Ursula. Just go. Okay. No Terry, really? That's quite good, right? You seen the society? They don't have gravity like that. That's the platform game. Oh, come on. That's just nasty. Hey. Do it every time this happens. That sucks, man. The fuck? You not push that so far. Stop, stop, don't land on me. Really, there's something. What the hell for uranium? The pilot had a reason. He wanted to revisit the crash. Kinda cool that the radio stopped when we were underground. That's very nice game design. I saw a red big asset arrive and I shot into my hazmat. What the fuck? For the station, I feel will save us and renewables, but then they set up an electric cars. Not convenient and customer friendly, we fought for the survival of economics, not at all.
That only the agency can see. No place for us to hide. No room for love to be.
You're home away from home. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Ah, Surveillance Love Song, an oldie, but a goodie. Sophie Jazz reminding us that love remains as complicated as ever, despite our patented matchmaking algorithms and genetic profiling. On the subject of complications, the Mars Time conglomerate has asked me to mention that even though a Mars sol is 40 minutes longer than a day on Earth, you do not have to manually add 40 minutes to your clocks every sol. We are officially on Mars clock time, so every second, minute and hour across all systems and devices are 2.7% longer by design. I know it's confusing at first,
I can
just
move him
keep time
faster than
as
the computer
usual.
move him,
For all
but
practical purposes, we live a 24-hour day up here, just like we did on Earth.
Slušajte Radio Nostalgiju sa Marsa.
oh, fuck you.
Okay, on with the
Fuck
show.
you for that.
Well,
Fuck
we've had
you.
a few requests for some classical music, and boy do I have a double treat for all you classical and vinyl lovers out there. A genuine record playing off an actual record player on loan from a dedicated RNFM fan. So grab a tube of OMS, sit back and enjoy some chill neoclassical vibes with that warm vinyl sound right here on Radio Nostalgia from Mars.
You just go down here. Why do you have to go all the way there? Push it and make it fall down, so let's just go full power here. But it still fall down. Hey. That's not how gravity works. My guy, that's not how gravity works. Using his very slow jetpack. How is this guy a hero? This guy sucks balls. Okay. It's for kids, Scotland and Mallory, it was beautiful and sad. What? I want to pee, but it's just gonna take more time to end the game, and I need to do the game in half an hour. So let's just hold the P and blame this game as something bad happened. Black the activity by Craftwork was the hymn of the turn of the century. So since you have played as the great catastrophe went by, and that was still when you have radio nostalgia, as my chunk of escapism, the cultural content on Mars, but reception underground was very bad.
Take a moment, relax, and remember, with radio nostalgia from Mars.
I'm supposed to relax when I'm playing this game. This game sucks so bad. The game is really not bad, I just... Bro, sucks. I missed. Okay, lucky. Want to be in the air, but cap is as maybe people like golf because of the high of getting the hole like that, getting the ball into the hole like that, but man, the low is just not worth it. It's also very time consuming for people with too much free time, I think. Yes, that's why it's just rich people are the ones doing it. Rich people are the ones who are doing it. Play this kind of game when you're in a 9 to 5 job. sometimes really good here. I guess not sometimes. Most of the time the music is actually really good. It's hard to focus when the game's like this. Oh, nice. This kind of jam, right?
Muzika iz starih dobrih dana. Radio nostalgije za Mars.
From neoclassical to electronica,
There
we really
indeed.
do have it all
That's
here on Radio Nostalgia from Mars.
Range of new
First we
futurism.
heard
As
an
he was
original
being
vinyl
followed,
with
he looked
music from
around.
an unknown composer, lost to time, I'm afraid. All I can say is it's a white label test pressing found in a recycling bin with just the word Aftermath written across the label. After that we got the blood pumping with an upbeat tune from Polytet AD and their classic tune, Do You Love Me? Want to keep that blood pumping? Remember, exercise is mandatory. No groans, no bones. And mental exercise is just as important, so get on down to your local rec center for a dose of mentally stimulating team activities and some delicious OMAS. Okay, on to our next caller for the show. Mani reminds us that one person's pleasure is another person's pain,
Now I can
and
focus
that we
more.
might not all relax
I'm
in the
blaming
same
on that.
way to the same things.
I'd go back in a heartbeat. Tesla City is unbearable. As far as I'm concerned, this promised land is anything but a dictatorship without oxygen. All these daily routines and protocols about everything we took for granted on Earth are so exhausting. Is it safe to take off your hazmat to breathe? Is the water distilled from all our urine really safe? And exactly what behavior will trigger a social credit demotion? Not to mention, every sneeze is suspect. The whole dome has to be sanitized if someone even sniffles. You'd think we figured it out during the pandemics. I know social distancing up here is impossible, but how freaking difficult is it to keep your hands clean and just not sneeze on stuff? Anyway, maybe that's humanity in a nutshell. After all, we walked on the moon before really learning to walk on Earth. I digress. I just want to say that the effort put into maintaining basic life functions in this state-of-the-art society outweighs the benefit of being alive. Use your head, can't you? Use your head. You're on Earth, there's no cure for that. Sam Beckett wrote that in Endgame. We're not cured, regardless of what our de facto overlords claim. It's ironic that the only thing we managed to
See online
export
bands.
culturally onto another
There's that
planet
people in
is a
society
Silicon Valley
already.
brand of Protestantism. Sorry for rambling. Anyway, I called into the program to share some Earth sounds I captured. I'm sure listeners of RNFM who suffer from nostalgia like me will appreciate them. In the meditation dome, we can listen to the light sounds of the Tuscan country, the olive grove shores of Kefalonia, the blue Danube below the Schwarzwald. I went to the meditation dome a few times, but just like yoga, I can't stand it. Simply, I don't miss nature at all. I was never a nature person, never really liked hiking or camping. I miss the city. This whole predicament started because we mixed with wilderness in the first place. This bullshit about Mother Nature sugarcoated the fact that maybe we were supposed to keep a sharp boundary between ourselves and the wild. And now we're demoted from Earthling to miserable Martian status. So at the end of every day, or I mean soul, I escape into texts I brought along. I drink that horrid canteen coffee and listen to urban sounds I recorded 15 years ago, mostly in New York and London. Here are some of my favorite sounds. Here's the sound of my bicycle rolling down the street.
Okay. Oh, forget the ball. Go after the kid. What are you doing with your life? Fuck you. This guy. Fuck this pilot. Things that are more important than this, like chasing after the kid. Played on a game.
And the sound of the bustling city in the morning, a call and response of cars and birds.
I radiation had basically turned your creative vehicle.
And the giggling of my kids in Washington Square as a group of street performers play the boombox and do tricks.
Good home, good to be back. So the first hazard would walk about me outside the circle area. Finally, got rid of that stupid ball. Looking like this, much better. It's a theory one. Just someone just singing some Buddhist chant. See how much better it is compared to golfing. Tree blooming with flowers. This planet inside is only fully speaking, he knew the toxic environment would destroy him eventually. Like this basic message was giving after years of longing for it. Pilot wasn't going to return. Could I know was better? want to live on Mars. To meet this very new friendship, so he stayed here with me on Earth. Now I listen to his stories at time before the great catastrophe. When he built the house, he taught me to read and write. He often goes out. I asked him if he wants to go back home. He smiled. I am home. The idea is going to Mars is people saying that it's the replacement for Earth when Earth was destroyed. If Earth was destroyed, Mars is never going to be as good as Earth. So if we want to go to Mars, if we want to live in Mars and make it habitable, Earth needs to still be habitable. People sometimes just kind of forget that Earth is too OP, man. Nothing is good as Earth. The reality itself, the energy it can build upon, the environment. In Mars, there are places that always have it's always windy with toxicity. The air is toxic. The wind is toxic. The dirt is toxic. You cannot plant anything there, unlike what movies like The Martian might make you believe. Even the author of The Martian is always very clear that it's a fiction. It's not based on any kind of, well, a little bit of theoretical reality, but it's not based on any current reality. You cannot build there if Earth not habitable. That's the point I was trying to make. So if Earth become like this, you're not gonna last long in Mars. Initially, I was imagining a hero, one of the Mars mission pilot, but I knew I was a glorified delivery boy. It just gave me something to do and stay away from public batteries and those class of people. On Mars, I deliver stuff from the city until I send back to the class city. The vehicle was so mangled I could hardly drive it, and I couldn't focus. My mind was never in the haze. That time I had a voice was the countdown. People were control tower to my lungs. Houston, Palm Springs again. Not even there. Stars in back. I was supposed to retire in a couple of years and evacuate out of these days in Europe. But that never happened. I was betrayed and in turn I was betrayed. Not to mention 99% of work. As time passed on Mars, my self-critical state, I became a walking reminder of broken wrongs, of false dreams. Their experiments caused oxygen and gravity. I was actually suffering to fragile public force. And gravity is also stuck in Mars. Water, so everything becomes, all movement becomes less clanky because we are finger movement are based on gravity. So chapters, building tools, everything, and then your bones got less dense. Back pain becomes everyday problem because there's less of a gravity there. Your brain becomes more brittle, your bones become more brittle, and then your backbone was elongated because of the lack of gravity, because it wasn't suppressed by the gravity. It becomes elongated, and it causes pain because the spine is not supposed to work like that. So what's the point of the fosil back? Just composite initial interplanetary humanity as the space-like CEO content. Instead, I drank myself numb with wine and thought of this awful piece recycled water. And this went on for years. The one I could have for my only friend, Alex Search. I sneaked the talking by of both Clockwise and into Hades. Later, Search told me the CEO knew all along. On the last trip, a senior member of the club disappeared. In a way, they used me as bait for whatever dangerous creature emerged on the post-apocalyptic Earth. The journey was long and difficult, but I was determined to return home. Determined. Entering the atmosphere was miraculous. One nighting, I started flowing. Like a new transformed world, with scattered reminders of our old illusion. With jetpacks in my wobbly hazmat suit, I was a Martian revisiting places I once used to take for granted. If you trade me, I probably look strange to you, roaming alone like that. Our industrial structures were now covered by nature's intricate vein web and rhizomes, clasping our vein project in a strong organic embrace. Beautiful and sad. People have outside of Alphaville that is in a state of global catastrophe, and I'm responsible. Now Alpha dead bodies still dirty sitting on Mars very close. I was keeping up my brain. Eventually, I went back to the time symbol outside in Alphaville. I took off my helmet, and after all those years, my Martian life saving took a deep breath of exploration. When I sat in a chair in the control room, I ended up giving myself back to the report with great pilot. It's exactly that self-cutting false self-sacrifice for my being so human is salvation that drove us to the end. But then I knew something was someone was following me. How was when I saw Kip? After years of Martian influences blaming the human form to so-called from Earth, you showed up. Joy, that's the only way I can describe what I'm feeling now. Joy. It's not being heavy, yes, just being able to catch this one from the environment is killing me. I don't have your remaining characters anymore. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Again, they gave.
Bell going off and the smell of Turkish coffee.
They gave skip button because damn, that was really rough gameplay. But I'm glad I played. Hopefully you guys also enjoy it. I'm going to the gym in a bit.
And for some reason, I'm obsessed with the sound of the New York MTA.
Stay healthy, guys. Drink a lot of water. Don't be like me. I like to drink less water while streaming because I don't want to pee as much. Okay then. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.